Hello, and welcome to another episode of Addled Building with Akiva. Today I will be finishing up the Azhar project and moving on to the next. Now, as you can see here, I have done a lot of work in the background, probably more than I should have, but for the sake of viewer retention, I only wanted to do 2 episodes on this ship, and that required me to do a lot of work in the background. So I'm going to go and give you a quick run through with this today and the changes that I've made in the background, and it's just mainly refining the hull shaping just a little bit. I haven't really done much else with this. As you know, I originally was going to have a hangar in here, and just no, there was not enough internal room. So right, the entrance is back here. So this is another one of those dual bridge setups, and I need to redo the texturing in there. And as you can see here, it's just a bridge here. There's some extra space if you want to put extra devices up here. Now, I am going to just go ahead and switch this up to the white so that we can see this better, because it is one of my ships, and it's not very bright, so that it is what it is. So yeah, I used a different shade of black for the bottom here, and there was a reason behind that I kind of forget. You have basic medical here, and then when you go down to here, you have again basic medical, but up here you have your main medical, and this is your fabrication. You've got your medical stations, you've got these constructors here, and since this is made for vanilla, I went ahead and just put in everything. And then in the tunnels here, we have the internals, which is, this is a area that I just used to fill internal space because there was just a lot of internal space in the build, and it's only accessible while you're in space, and it's just duplicated bottom and top. It's just to fill a lot of area. Very simple. And there are, oh, missing a texture there. Hold on, let me fix that while I'm thinking about it. And then up to the main bridge, you have this, and we'll go back down. There are 2 elevators here because I don't want them along the center line where this is, and it's just easier to have the quick access between the 2 bridges be just a jetpack area. That way you can go to the medical area very quickly, and you don't have to worry about skirting the elevator field. And you have entrance to the elevator there, and then bottom entry, as usual, is just a ramp, which I realize that I need to change the texture there, so let's go ahead and do that. Oh, it's already set to that. Okay, good. There we go. No, I don't want that one. Let's switch it up. There we go. Alright, that's done. Now this does need to be set to signal logic. So landing entry is usually what I do with signal logic here. Devices, signal logic, landing entry. There we go. And now when we go to the P menu and click that, it opens it. That way you're not constantly trying to find the entry, and you can close it remotely if you want. 2 passenger seats on this side, and medical and oxygen near the entry as per GEI standards. But I had to sort of sacrifice due to the internal space layout and put medical in its own room here, and I'm not really happy about that, but you'll see why in the internals. So I have two of these large generators, one on each side, and the warp core is in the center as usual, but I made its own little cage that looks nice. Not really sure if you can take advantage of that through the glass, but what you can do with glass, if you are unsure, is simply do this, and you can switch out the glass so that you can see what you're doing. It's a great little way of doing that, and I just like it. And I'm happy that we have that feature. So, next we have the externals, which I have done a lot of work on. Externals have changed up quite a bit. In the last build, we kind of made these things that were the floaty bits, and I changed them from floaty bits to adding this here because, well, most servers don't like floating turrets, so we'll go ahead and just play nice with server owners. That way people don't get in trouble. Added some landing gear here and re-jiggered the turret loadout a little bit, and the placement of the, well, not the loadout, but the placement of the turrets. So you have your missiles on top, we got some plasma here and some plasma down here as well, but these turrets are down here to deal with ground targets when you go on planets, and you have some more over here, and then you have your anti-drone turrets in the back, 4 of them in the back. And these should be below. So I might need to rejigger those a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do for that, though, because there's a turret limit. I think I'll just leave them where they are for the moment, and I'll think about it. But yeah, this should be published by the time this video goes live. As soon as I finish recording this, I will go ahead and publish this because I need to write up the documentation and everything for it so that I can put it on Steam very quickly, but that is just a quick overhaul or overview. And the back, I am very happy with what I ended up doing here. So, one last point is that this ship is a heavy hull tanking ship. So you have a lot of decoys. You've got a lot of decoys on this thing. So you've got thrusters in that, and the entire nose is full of decoys. Like, completely full of decoys. Now, I need to take a look at how many fuel tanks this thing has, because I don't think it has enough fuel tanks, but there's room here. Let's go ahead and fix that while I'm looking at it, because I'm doing the final walkthrough of the ship right now with you so that you can see what I do with the walkthrough. So as always, make sure that when you do your final walkthrough, you check for things such as container controllers, ammo controllers, landing gear, detector, medical, a cockpit, a place where you can fly the ship. Just make sure to check for all of that. Now, I've already done this, and I'll show you how I do it just once more. So when you go into the ship, you go into devices, and, well, I don't do auto grouping, so let's go ahead and get to some place where I can do this without it cluttering up the screen so that you can see it. So I've already gone through and named all of these. Now, each one of these is named with a color code, and some of them have the C after it, and some of them don't, like the close tag after it. I don't always use the close tag, because the same color code will give you 2 different results based on if you have a color closing tag or not. So this one is the same color code as this one, and as you can see, this one doesn't have a closing tag and it's a bit brighter. This one has a closing tag and it's less bright. It's not as bright, and the reason for that is this color right here that is used for the default, when you don't have a closing tag, like you have the opening tag there, you have the color code, but when you don't have a closing tag, this color gets added to this color. So instead of just getting this color when you have a closing tag, you get this added to this to get this. So in order for you not to have that extra white layer added, make sure to use a closing tag. But if you don't mind, don't worry about it. So yeah. Anyways, that's a good little note on that. So are these set to signals? No, they're not set to signals, so I'll fix that in a second. But we need to go through the do we have everything. So we have a detector, good. We have the core bits, good. We've got fuel and O2 tanks, good. We've got generators, including the 2 main generators and all the decoys. We've got the thrusters, good. We've got thrusters in every direction. Warp and shields, yep, we've got all the bits. And all of the storages. So we've got, well, yeah. That's not great. I don't have ammo storages. Oh, whoops. This is why we do checks. So we do need to have ammo storages. And that's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, beta and SETI. Okay, show on HUD. Show on HUD. And that's where these two are located. Down the bottom over here. They're right next to a thruster, so yeah, that's not great. But there's, you know what, let's go ahead and double check and double make sure that those aren't going to blow up if worst comes to worst. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my trusty carbon or combat steel block. I still need to fill that area. Make sure it has the right one, and make sure that this is going to be, this one next to the thruster is going to be a combat steel block, so that this one is surrounded in combat steel so that it doesn't blow up if these take damage. There we go. Quick little fix. And we're going to go ahead and remove these. I guess I don't need to go to that side if it's already done. And we're going to remove one container controller that's connected to it. And the reason for doing this is so that it recalculates the fact that we have a controller next to it. So I need to not press that button again and make sure to press the H button for the item menu. Container controller. Just type in enough so that it registers. And we're going to make sure that we have the ammo controllers. I'm just going to have it face forward, that way I know what I'm doing. Copy that block and put it there. There we go. Now we've got container controller ammo. Now we need to fix the other 2 things that we need to fix for this ship, which is the fuel tanks. Making sure that there are as many fuel tanks as possible. This is vanilla. Yeah. I'm just going to put as many fuel tanks as possible because I have the CPU for it. So put a fuel tank there. Put a fuel tank there. I don't know where that one placed. I guess we'll find out later. And yep, there it is. And put one there. And that is just an empty slot. I already have a Wi-Fi extender there, so I was just double checking. So we're just going to fill that with steel, and we have some more fuel tanks here. They aren't as well protected as the other fuel tanks, but I'm not really worried about it, considering we also have fuel tanks back here, which is great. But any extra space I like to fill up with something useful. And in this case, I'm just going to put that there, and do the same that we did with the bottom. Have a little bit extra fuel space, and we're golden. And as always, I prefer to spread fuel tanks out so that, and make sure that they're, yeah, I prefer to spread fuel tanks out and make them chain reaction resistant That way, if one group of fuel tank goes, it's not really a big loss. I don't know where that came from, but okay, well, we'll have a little bit of extra container storage there. And I'd like to double check that I have all of the textures copied, so just do that. And as you can see here, or I saw here, there was a block here that wasn't painted, which is irks my OCD. So now that those two checks have been done, we need to go in and re-add the custom coding for these container controllers. So let's go ahead and add. So the only way you can make sure that you can words, I hate them. The only way that you can make sure that the custom coding here applies is if it's in a group. You cannot color something if it's in a group. So I am pulling up my GEI Discord and going to, let's see, where are you? GEI Resources channel. Now this has all of, and this is in the EGS Builders group category. This has all of the custom colors that I use. So the custom text colors that I use. Brain no worky today. So I am looking for ammo, the one that has ammo. That one is, I don't want to use SV ammo. No, let's do ammo 1. Let's try them both. So I'm going to copy that code from that channel. And I'm just going to go ahead and paste it into here and then hit enter. Now that will allow me to see what color it's going to be. Now I don't like that color. So what I can do is I can simply adjust it by, looks better, but there's another option. Copy. So we'll go to this, we'll try this one. It's, oh, that's red. Let's try, nope, let's try 8. No, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna use the other one then. Because I don't want it to be red, I'd prefer... Oh wait, hold on, I can use something else. Where is seeds? Because that was a green too. Control C. Control V. What's that color? Oh. No. No. Let's try 3. Well, let's just try that. Okay, let's try 9. Will that make it a darker color? No, it will not. Okay. So let's just use the first option. Okay, that'll work. Let's see here. That was on the second group, and that was ammo 1. Copy, and it started with 3.9. Okay. So these codes are hex codes. Now these are hex color codes. In the Discord, there is a link to the website that I use for this, and it's a great website. And yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so let's try 2, or let's try 1. I'm gonna keep doing this until I get a color. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can't really see it, but whatever. I'm happy with that. So Control C and Control V again. And I just use the Roman numerals for this because, well, Roman numerals look better, in my opinion, than just 1, 2, 3. And I also occasionally do like cargo alpha and aux storage. Well, these are already labeled as aux storage. They're not really aux storage in the true sense. It just means that they're aux storage in the sense that if you're like fighting a Tovera or the Flying Dutchman, you don't want those container controllers full. So in that sense, they're prone to take damage, but if you take a look at where they are, all the way back here, I have a feeling that the main power for the ship is going to go before those go. So let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and replace those and just name them differently, because I don't think aux storage is right for that, because it's right behind the, like, it's in the very back of the ship. I don't think they deserve that designation. So let's go ahead and copy that, and again, what we're going to do is we're going to add them to the group. So add to last group because they were in there, and add to last group, and Control V, Control V, and there we go. Okay, so the ammo boxes have been added, and they've been labeled. These fuel tanks need to go into their proper groups, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, 34 fuel tanks. Yeah, that should be enough. The reason I do so many is for redundancy, and then only fill them up about halfway, and then carry the extra fuel with me. So yeah, that's the way I do that, and it's a great way of just making sure that you don't lose any fuel that you don't want to lose. Now, there are some fuel tanks back here, some T3 fuel tanks back here, and I'm just like, what was I thinking? So they're around decoys. So why do I have these here? Well, because I wasn't thinking. So now that we've like filled those up, we can just fill that up with steel. So I don't want fuel tanks that close to where they're going to be taking combat damage, because it gives you a false sense of danger when they blow up, and that is not intended. Okay, so I'm just going to remove them. They don't need to worry about it since we added more to the back. As with all GEI ships, this thing is chain reaction resistant. I have gone through and I have made it so that as much redundancy is in the internals as possible. And as you saw on the internal here, the warp core is probably the most protected bit on the ship. And then you also have your bridge redundancy, where if your bridge is taking damage, you can go to the other bridge. Or if a bridge has taken damage, you can go to the other bridge. And there are airlock seals between each of the rooms, which is something that I need to double check that I've done, which is ventilate this area. And a good way to do ventilation when you're struggling for space is to find a device that's not airtight and put a ventilator behind it. So I was struggling with this earlier. And one thing that I'm just probably going to end up doing, like, does this, yep, that stops there. Well, that's a container extension. What's behind that? That's a shield. So if I just, that's container extension as well. What if I go down here? Is that a container extension? No, that's a, okay. Can I put it there? Yes, well, no, I can't, because then it shows there. Let's see. Can I put it there? Looks like I can. Okay, so we're just gonna put a ventilator back there. And it's right next to a CPU component. That's just wonderful. Let's see. Let's undo that. What if I get rid of these two pieces? That should be combat steel next to a a piece of, well, that's hardened steel, it's fine. It's not targetable. I'm not too worried about it. Let's just put hardened steel here too. So, that's, there we go. I don't know why that color went to that. Undo. I don't want to do replace blocks. There we go. There we go. Okay, so instead of doing that, let's go ahead and copy that block. Of course, that's combat steel. Let's put that there and that there. Really? Really? That's what you do? Okay. Bloody. Okay. Let's put that there and that there, and going to copy this white. And then this one, we can just pick a shape. Let's do this one. There we go. Depressurized for some reason. I don't really know why, but I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. Oh, right, because I didn't actually fill it up. Okay. That's fine. Let's do... Put that in equipment. Fill all. Okay, that's good. There we go. Now, what I can do... No, that doesn't matter. Okay, never mind. That's airtight. It's fine. Okay, that opens up this space a little bit more, which I am happy about. I prefer a lot of open space in my ships. For as much open space as I can get away with in my ships, but sometimes it just has to be cramped. But this seemed to be more of an open area now. That's good. Okay, that's been sorted, so all the rooms are ventilated. This room is... Well, the thing is that this is ventilated. This whole entire room is ventilated. And it ventilates this room because there's no force field here. Now, I toyed around with aerating this area separately, but because of the shaping and the inability to... And my inability to do this in a way that caused these... Well, I'll show you what I mean. So, the only way I could put in a force field here is if I picked up this, or picked up this piece. Now, all in all, that's not bad. So let's go ahead and just undo, and remove that. There we go, that'll work. Okay, never mind, I guess I'll just do it this way. Now, usually I prefer to put something in the direction of travel on the sides, so let's go ahead and do that. And then on the floor, I'm going to put that on the ceiling. On the floor, I'll just do this. And I still have force fields in my inventory. Yes, I do. I prefer to put the force fields on the top. That way, because they have a little bit of a lip, and putting them above the player's point of travel just helps. Just helps. Let's just do... There we go. Now, I do need to texture this properly, because it's a different color. And let's go ahead and put that. There we go. Now, I don't have symmetry plane on, because why would I? Just remove that. So I'll have to redo this again, which is not a problem, because I can just show you what I did. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Direction of travel. that there, and the white there. I don't know if that was a different one or not, but whatever. And then put that there. And we can close this. Okay. That is how I end up doing that, and now oh right, I need to go back in there, and I'm just gonna close that blast door from there. And I need to put an O2 ventilator in here as a result. I mean, I don't really need to. Why ventilate this area? Yeah, I'm not gonna bother ventilating this area, and the reason being that, well, it's simple. I just don't want to because it takes up extra O2 and extra O2 to fill the internals. So and that's a placeholder space for if you want to make any changes to the ship. So if you want extra constructors, or if you want to convert it to another scenario, there's some internal space already dedicated for that. Okay, now that that's done, let's go up to here. That looks good. And one last note about the externals. This right here, there's enough room behind it to make it an XL thruster if you wish on both sides. And the same for the forward-facing thrusters. There's enough room behind it to dig it out and create and put an XL thruster there. So if you want XL thrusters here, you can do that. Okay, so that is the Azhar finished. We've gone through the checklist of making sure that it's how I want it to be and has everything necessary. So we're going to go ahead and save it, Alt-O, and do my filters properly. I've mucked out my BP library, as you can see here. I don't have a lot of the old BPs that I wasn't using a lot, so when I scroll through this, there's not a lot of stuff here. Well, not a lot. Yeah, anyways, make sure to hit that clear pivot point box when you update a BP, because it just helps the game and prevents any issues. The ship here is good to go. I'm just going to say it. It's good to go. And it will be up on the workshop in, well, by the time this video goes live, because that's immediately what I'm doing after this. So, we are halfway into the video. It is 32 minutes, well, 33 minutes in, so leave a comment at this point in time and let me know that you're still here. I like to know which parts of my audience are still here so that I can tailor future episodes to do better viewer retention. And it's just a great way of knowing who's watching and saying hi. Anyways, next I want to show you my process for creating POIs and making sure that they're submitted correctly. Now I have some export items here. They are, well, they're marked as OPVs. Now these are ready for submission. These OPVs are ready for submission, and they have been submitted. That particular Z ROPV version is a depreciated version that I need to get out of my library, and I'll show that later. Let's see here. This is something like we saw in the I&A videos, the insight and analysis videos. I did a video of this, and I kept a copy in my local library because there were some shaping and internal things that inspired me, and I just wanted it as a reference. So I went ahead and kept that, and that is by, I forget who it's by. Let's go ahead and just spawn it and just take a look at it so you know what I mean. So this is a ship. This is a UCH ship that's on the workshop right now, and I support. Yeah, this is something that he created. I am very, I'm like, great work, dude. Just great work. And I kept it in my library because, well, there's a lot of like texturing done in here. It's a lot of internals and things like this, and I want to use it as a reference for when I get a reference to inspire me whenever I get stuck in a creative when I get stuck building, you know, it's like sometimes your creativity just dies and you want inspiration. So that's what I'm doing with this thing, and that's why it's in my library. Now, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of these two OPVs here, or these two ships here, because they've been on the pad long enough. Destroy. Now, the Ajax is on the workshop, and the Mizo Rai has been submitted for a core BP. In other words, I can't share it, I can't do anything with it, because as soon as Hummel decides to add it to the core BPs, you know, the like starter BPs that you get, like the stock BPs, that is. That's what these are. As soon as he adds it to this, I will be happy. But it may be a while before he does. In the meantime, it's just going to sit in my library. Now, he has added one other thing of mine. Like, Hummel, come on, man. I sent you how to fix that. He's busy, okay? Like, I see how busy he is, and, yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna give him a hard time for it, because I know how busy. Now, these are exports, and I will make an announcement on why they're there, and as soon as that's all sorted. But until then, I'm just going to leave that there as a hint that something else is coming. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I'm still a little tired. I haven't been sleeping well. So, this is... Which one was I gonna do today? I can't remember. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do the Azhar and switch it over to an OPV. So when creating an OPV, it is always a good idea. I'm just gonna turn that back on. It is always a good idea to turn on symmetry plane, apparently. No, I'm kidding. It's always a good idea to remove the turrets because, well, yeah. The turret loadout is going to be different than what it is for a player ship. So, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of those. And I believe that's all the turrets. Nope, there's two back here that I need to get. So, first things first, I'm going to change out blocks because I don't need any of these at the moment. I'm just going to keep that steel block there for copying other blocks. And let's go ahead and just get rid of anything that I don't need to deal with. Advanced constructors, I don't need those because they're already placed. So we're going to go ahead and grab some alien blocks, some crew. Yeah, I'm grabbing aliens. Crew humans, and I did not mean to grab trees. I'm going to go ahead and grab some turrets. So let's grab the cyan turrets. Let's grab the laser turrets. And Zyrax. No, I'm not grabbing those. Okay, that'll work. So these are the only turrets that I can use for GEI OPVs. So first off, I'm going to start by removing those, and since I don't want, there we go, remove those as well, and I need to remove these. Okay. So I'm going to copy that block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll do it all the way up to there. Just fill that in. And there we go. Now I'm going to put, I don't want that quite yet. Where's the block I want to copy? This is why I keep the steel blocks on me, is because I want to be able to copy. I guess I don't have the block in use on this ship, the particular block I want to copy on this ship, so I'll just copy this. Okay. Which is disappointing. So I'm just going to put that there for the moment. And now that that texture has been copied from another block, or no, it hasn't. Oh, who am I kidding? There we go. Put that on there. No, that's not what I want to do. There we go. Okay, and take off full. There we go. And behind it, I want to put the color. Come on, where are you? There we go. Okay, now it's got some defenses. I'm going to go ahead and get the crew off my... Well, let's go ahead and deal with the crew right now. So, with a OPV, you do not want to have a captain seat, in my opinion. Just want to have a pilot seat and crew there, and then you want to have a commander. I should be using alien blocks for this. So I'm going to put this one forward. Oh, I can't put that any more forward. Well, drats. Okay. Let's remove him and put this one here. And I'm going to put a commander behind it. I don't think there is a commander version of the alien blocks, which is... Hold on, let me check. That's Traders Guild. NPC spawner. Nope. Nope, nope. Oh, so this requires some configuration, which I don't really know what to do with right now, so I'll just put a UCH commander, dude. There. It's not perfect, and I might have to change it in a later update if they add more NPCs, but for the moment, it's fine. So down here, I'm just going to put just an NPC like this. Come on, why don't you want to place there? Oh, right, because that's there. Okay. Copy that, move it back one, and we're good to go there. Let's move this guy back one. And let's go ahead and do this. I'm just going to copy that. Now, is there room for this there? Oh, there isn't. Okay, never mind. Okay, I don't really know what I'm going to do there. I think I should just do this. Yep, that'll work. There we go. I mean, it's not brilliant, but at the same time, it's not... Yeah, it's just not brilliant. I'm just going to put that block there, and... texture it up a little bit. Let's do... Nope, that's not gonna work. Will that do a half? Oh no, it's going the full texture. Lovely. Anyways, that's not great. Let's do... Ugh, that's bad. Just do that then. Fine, we'll just do that. It's... Meh. Not enough blocks in this game. Oh, I like that. That's the one texture that works on. Okay. Okay, that'll work. Now, does this one do what I want it to? Yes, it does. Nice. Okay, there we go. Alright. Now we have crew on the bottom. I don't know why that's a little bit different, but whatever. There we go. Happy with that. He's gonna get so blown up. He's gonna get so busted up. It's not even funny. One other thing that I prefer to do, and now that I have the crew sorted, I can get rid of them. One other thing that I prefer to do is downgrade thrusters, because thrusters are part of the loot. Now, the core on this one is back here. I need to move it. I'll be moving the core, but I'm not going to do that on stream because I don't want to give you an idea of where the core is. You'll have to figure that out on your own. Sorry, guys. And there will be 2 versions, so there will be 2 different core locations. And I don't show that on stream because, or I don't show that on recording because I don't want you guys to figure it out. I want you guys to find it naturally in the world and figure it out that way. So yeah, sorry, but that's the logic behind that. So I'm just going to place these 2 because with OPVs you don't really need to you don't really need all that thrust, because the thrust is determined by the configuration files of the playfield and the type of OPV. I'm fine leaving these big thrusters in the back here. I'm not fine leaving those there. So what we're gonna do is just, there we go. No, I don't like that. This, maybe? I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to fill that in. So what we're going to do is just fill that in. There we go. And then I can use this block here and the same up here. Wrong. There we go. Now, usually what I like to do around these is put a little bit of external deco around them and a little bit of greebling. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of that and one over here as well. Kind of uninspired, but yeah, let's not do that. It is uninspired. Let's do these. Yep, there we go. Just go ahead and texture them, and we're good to go. Okay, that's it for thrusters. That's all I need to do for that. I'll just need to fill in around them, which is fine. Let's go ahead and grab this block. I guess what I could do there instead is do the greebling as well, because I think that would be a little bit better than just that slope block personally, and it's a little bit about preference. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this block because that was the only ones of those I was going to use for the moment. I can always grab them later if I want to. Let's see here. Let's grab tech equipment, which was, of course, already on my inventory. It was just faster for me to figure that out. And we're going to put these behind the thrusters. Now, the idea behind these... Come on. Flip over, please. Please. Pretty please. Thank you. Idea behind these is I prefer... Like, this is something that I have found looks really cool. And feel free to steal this idea, because it's not really just mine. Like, ideas are endless, okay? It's fine. And I don't own ideas, so yeah, go ahead and feel free to steal that if you so desire. And we're just going to copy this. Yes, I know that's like combat steel, I don't care. Is that going to cause a problem down here? Yeah, it is. Okay, well, in that case, flip it over. And I'm doing this in black because I want to make sure that I see how it's going to look as a final product. And if it doesn't make for good stream content, or recording content, then yep, that's fine. There we go. That looks good. Aft thrusters are on the side over here. There we go. So now we need to re-add turrets. So grab this, and before I forget, I need to add a NPC core. Now, what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to show you where I add it, is usually when I do something like this, I'll need to fill that in. Usually when I do something like this, I make sure to, where's the core? Dang it, where's the core? It's back here if I remember right. Is it right behind? Oh, yep, there it is. Yes, I know. Usually what I do is put it in some extremely conspicuous place, which tells me that I need to replace it and re-add it back somewhere. So, yeah. So I'm going to grab some of these ion turrets, and they don't really fit there. That's fine. So I'm going to put 2 of them there, and then I need to grab the other turrets, the laser turrets, and re-add the laser turrets. So we're not going to fill up all the turret slots with lasers or anything. We're just going to do just enough that it looks good. It looks like an OPV, okay? That's all I'm doing here. I'm not adding an insane amount of turrets that you have to fight a ship for. I'm just adding enough. And another thing that I do whenever I do this is I remove landing gear, because it's just not worth it. And then we're going to add some... Where did I end up putting these turrets? Were they up there somewhere? I don't remember. I don't even think I'm going to put them there. So what I'm going to do is put some there, but before I do that, symmetry plane. Come on. There we go. And this spot looks good for a turret, so I'm going to put it there. The turret loadout will be changed. The turret loadout will be changed a little bit when I redo the core locations, because I want each one to be like, I will have 2 versions of this. One version will have a different turret loadout, so the observant person will know that, oh hey, this is this version. This is where I need to shoot to kill the core. Okay. And yes, I say the observant person, the one that checks it. So this is just going to be one version. The turret loadout for this will be one version. But essentially, that is it. That's all you need to do. And the reason that I'm doing the current turret, like why I'm limiting myself to energy weapon turrets, is because that is GEI. GEI uses energy weapons. And they also use drones as well. But, yeah. So one other thing I'm going to add, I need to add to this, is the loot. Now, the loot is something that is determined by the tier of the ship, and there is documentation on what loot you need to add, but I am not really sure if I can show that documentation, the current documentation. Like there's some like guidelines on the forums, but at the same time, the documentation that I have access to is not meant to be shared. So hopefully it will be soon, because of what's going on in the background. But again, I have to be really careful about what I say here, because yeah. Anyways, let's see. And I may be completely off here. It might be on the forums, and I might not just know where it is. So that is possible. And Where are the force fields? So one other thing that I need to add to this OPV, and that is going to take some time, is the what's it called? The LCDs. I need to add LCDs to this, and LCDs are a pain in my rear end, to put it lightly. Yeah, something that I despise doing, but it needs to be done. So I will end up adding those when I get a chance, and those will probably be done behind the scenes. As you can see here, I am just going through and putting blocks in. And the idea behind this is simple. I just need to fill in these spaces to lower the size class a little bit. So I'm just filling in any extra nooks and crannies with blocks so that the size class gets lowered. Now, whenever you're building an OPV, I mean, it's size class 4, it's fine. Whenever you're building an OPV, it's always nice to just lower the size class as much as possible, because it just means better performance for the players that have to fight it, okay? And it's just a nice thing to do. And I'm not a perfect person, but I try and be as considerate as possible wherever possible. And I struggle with that on a daily basis. But anyways. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop here, because I've already shown you the process. And the loot, there are guidelines on the forums. If I remember, I will go ahead and link that below in the descriptions. The loot and OPV guidelines, I'm sure I have them in a previous video that I can just copy and paste. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. I am sorry that I didn't get to the... Oh, no, this was the other project. So, I was working on the Azhar, the player version, and I converted it to an OPV. So, thank you guys for watching. Remember to be kind to your fellow humans. Thank you to my lovely patrons, JD Bruce and the Insane Aerospace Engineer. Remember, nobody's perfect. We all struggle with stress. And sometimes, no matter what we do, we cannot fix everything. And sometimes when you can't fix something, it's time to let it go. Now, no foreshadowing on future content or anything like that. It's just piece of advice that, or something that I've had to learn the hard way, and I'd like to share it with you. So, I'm going to go through some channel notices real quick. Guide content will be re-added at my earliest possible convenience, as soon as I possibly can. Insight and analysis, I'm kind of in a quagmire at the moment with insight and analysis, and my quagmire is this. I mean, my problem is this. A lot of you are making RE2 content. I love that. I love that you guys enjoy creating and publishing to the workshop, and I want to review this stuff. The problem is, I haven't played RE2 enough, and I don't know the build mechanics enough to make reasonable, insightful analyses of your builds. And so, I can't in good confidence do insight and analysis with RE2 builds at this point in time. I'm learning. We have the Reaper 2 project that is meant that I'm doing to teach myself how to review these. So what I see in the future is that I will be doing reviews of SVs only to start, and they will be starter SVs. And then after that, I will work my way up to starter CVs, and so on and so forth, until I get to big combat ships and I have experience playing RE2. Because I won't be able to say anything other than, oh, this looks nice, oh, this is a neat idea, until I learn the mechanics of RE2. so I won't be able to get reasonable feedback until I learn it. So that leads to the problem where there are insight and analysis videos every like third week because not enough vanilla items on the workshop are just not enough people are publishing vanilla items, and it comes down to me publishing the same builder's creations almost every other video, and that's not great for diversity of content, and that's not very validating to the people that don't get their stuff in there, and then it leads to a situation where people are saying, oh, you only review stuff from people that you know, and I'm just like, well, yeah, because or people that I follow, because they're the only ones publishing stuff that I can review, and it's not a good situation, and I understand that that's a problem. I apologize, but I like to be as upfront with you guys as possible. There will be a notice on. I will be doing a notice about this on Reddit. I will be doing a notice about this problem that I'm having in my Discord as well. Links below, as always. And I will show you guys. Just I will be upfront about it. Okay. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Banshee out.